Well, you guys, it's October 24th, and I'm going back out to public land, and cold fronts moved in these past 2 days. The temperature's probably gone from about 75 to feeling like 30 this morning, so I'm going to go to a spot where I think these deer are going to be bedded at the bottom of this ridge right next to this creek, set up on top where it's a flat. It goes to flat ground beyond the ridge and just flattens off to some bedding and cover. They prefer that bottom part down by that creek. So I'm thinking, set up with the wind's going to be blowing this way. So I'm going to be perfect with the wind, and hopefully I'll get some bucks moving at the top of that ridge and going down and up. So hoping that there's not too many hunters, because the spot usually gets a lot of pressure. So hoping there's no more than 5 to 6 hunters there. If there is, well, we're going to have to work through that and see if we get anything. I'm feeling pretty confident this morning, so I'll see you guys out there. I'm set up now. There's a little trail that comes along about 20 yards in front of me. There's a couple of rubs that run along that trail. There was already another hunter in here, so I didn't want to push back any deeper because I didn't want to run into him if he was back there. But I'm thinking with this colder weather, they're going to be moving back and forth along this trail. I had my light going in front looking for rubs, and I saw eyes, and there was a deer about 80 yards that way in front of the trail. So I'm thinking that these deer are going to just walk along this trail, come up this ridge and walk along the trail. That's what I'm hoping for. Just had to book it down now at full speed. I don't know, something spooked them or something moved them a little bit. They were going pretty quick. These deer are still moving. It's about 9:40, so probably stay for another hour or so. 'Cause it seems like they're still moving. Maybe buck will get on that trail. Smell that doe scent or something. Come along here, so gotta keep my eyes peeled down that way. See if a buck comes through. It's a good sized buck moving out over directly at me, like 100 yards. Walking over. He was moving away from me, but he was moving pretty quick. I just saw him. He's about 100 yards, but I don't know if I got his attention or not. We'll see here in a bit. It's a shooter, I think. I think it's April. Well, that's gonna wrap up the morning. Try to get out of here pretty quiet. I think I'm gonna go along this trail another 50 yards and see if it's the same thing that's over here. There's just rubs on the side of the trails just to see if that's a pattern. But I think I've patterned these deer that they come down from the bottom down that creek. It's a bigger size creek, and they bed down there, and then they come up, and then that's just their routine. They come up on top of this ridge and then they walk it. But I think I'm getting them down closer and closer every day, so I'm gonna go out of here pretty quiet and go to the car, and then I'll be out for the evening hunt this afternoon and try to find a good spot for the evening. I'll map it out and I might scout midday, see if I find a spot that I like and I set up there. So I'm out of here, hoping not spook anything out, and get some lunch. It's 3 o'clock now, and I'm gonna get ready to go out for the afternoon hunt. I'm thinking I want to just go into the same spot, but just go about half a mile back deeper. So I was finding the first half mile, there was really no buck sign until that half mile hit. So I want to go about half mile back deeper, I think, and just find some more buck sign, because I think they'll be pushed back in there with all the hunting pressure that's happened. There were about like freaking 10 cars this morning along a 2-mile stretch road. So there's a decent amount of hunters out here today. So I think just push back deeper and go by some bedding area and set up on some rubs or something with some acorns nearby, just like I did today, because I saw 2 bucks, so they're around. So hopefully there's not any hunters that come in after me. Want to get set up by probably like 3:45 or so. So just chilling for now, getting ready to go, and I'll just see you guys out there in the woods. Well, I'm set up now. Don't have some brush on. It's hiding my body shape and my outline. It's not as much cover as I wanted, but there's like good 5 rubs in front of me. I ended up going like a mile back. Didn't see the sign I wanted, so I came back to this. What I found is there's only a couple 100 yards from the parking before I parked. So I just came back here because I didn't want to hunt anything back there if I wasn't going to see anything with no sign. I know that there's a buck in here somewhere, because there's good 5 rubs, 1 behind me and then 4 in front, like 20-25 yards from me. So I think I'm set up with just enough cover, but not quite enough, but hopefully it all works out and I have a buck walk right in front of me, and then I'll be perfectly fine. If it comes inside, they might see me, but other than that, I should be good to go. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I ended the hunt a little bit early because I gotta get back to the house and eat and do some homework and all that sort of stuff. But this evening hunt, I learned where the most of the sign was, and that was basically all the sign that I found this morning in that main area. So I think next week or the week after, come out here, try to find some new areas, maybe hunt this again in the morning, then find a new area for the afternoon, because that just didn't work out the way I planned. But there was a lot of hunting pressure here today, so I'm gonna have to work through that. I was expecting this place to get pounded, and it did, so gonna have to work through that. All good, but overall not a bad day. Saw 2 shooters, one of them close but not quite. Only got 50 yards, and kind of spooked off by me grunting. I did a little bit over grunting, I say. I spooked him off by that, acting too dominant. He got a little scared, I think. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week when I'm out here again.